You can see how much stuff is in your grass that you don't see with the naked eye. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Surviving the Suburbs, and it's been a while. I got super busy with work. Family things come up. Spend a lot of time with the kids. So I'm back. This is a new video, and this time around, I want to do dethatching. I'm going to dethatch the yard. I'm going to get up all the gunk, all of the leftover mulching that I've been doing when I mow the lawn. Typically, when I mow the lawn, I don't bag it. I let it mulch, and then, because supposedly, right, that's supposed to help, give all the nutrients and everything back into the lawn, into the soil, as it naturally biodegrades your cut clippings. So, but the end result of that is that you end up with a lot of that stuff sitting on top of your dirt, on top of your soil, at the very, base of your lawn. So if you don't get that stuff up out of there, it ends up choking the blades, and they don't get as thick, as strong as you would like them to get. So at least once a year, I like to do this exercise. And I use the Dethatcher that I've got right there. Yeah, so not my favorite. You can see it back there. It's corded, like I mentioned, but it gets in the way a lot. I prefer fully battery operated, which they have now. By the way, another Greenworks tool that I've got right here. I've had it for a little over a year, but I've used it twice, and it's pretty good. It gets the job done. It's just that the cord gets in the way when you're trying to maneuver back and forth. It's almost like you're using a push mower, but the cord, it's just not convenient to have around. So let me give you a walkthrough of that Dethatcher back there. I'm all over the place right now, but let's take a closer look. Alright, so as you can see, this is a Greenworks electric Dethatcher. Like I mentioned before, it's very small. It's not small, but as far as some of those gas-powered ones, it's much smaller, much lighter, so it's easier to get around, push around, but it's pretty powerful. So you get the job done with less. You get the job done with less. So that's the point, and that's typically the point with a lot of the Greenworks tools: the mower, the trimmer, the Dethatcher, snow thrower, all that stuff. They're just much smaller than the gas-powered ones, but they pack just as much power. So let me turn it over to the bottom so I can show you what this uses to kind of get the stuff up out of the lawn. So as you can see, I've got these hooks here, and this is essentially a power rake, right? You're doing the same exercise you would do if you had a hand rake and you were just going through the old-fashioned way of raking leaves or something like that. But instead, the idea is that you're trying to get all of the, as I mentioned, you're trying to get all of the dead grass that you've clipped before that's just sitting at the base of your lawn. And these multiple variations of these are here to kind of do the job. It spins super fast, and it basically just lifts up all of that dead stuff sitting at the bottom of your lawn. And then once you get it up, you just rake it up, bag it, and you toss it, right? And when you're done, you now have exposed lawn. You now have lawn that's actually primed for overseeding, which I'm going to do afterwards. And then so you overseed. You might want to put some fertilizer on top of it, and then you water. You water consistently for a few days afterwards. You let the soil, or you let the seed and the soil contact really marry up down there, and you end up with some really good results. So I guess let me show you guys down here. This isn't the best part of my lawn, but you can see at the base of there there's brown and then there's green, right? All the brown stuff is the dead grass that's just sitting on top of my lawn. And what I want to do is get all of this up. I don't need this. It's not helping anything. But by the time I'm done dethatching, I'll end up with exposed soil like that. And the exposed soil is what I'm going to have seed to soil contact with, and that's going to end up giving me those really good results. So let me go to a healthier part of my lawn and show you that this just as bad as this, but you just can't see it because the grass is much thicker in the healthier areas. All right, so here we are in the front yard. My grass is pretty healthy in the front. However, it doesn't matter how healthy it looks. It's still got some areas inside where you wanna get up that stuff that's at the base of the lawn. So you can see here, it's still healthy, but as I move the grass back and away, and I expose more of the base of this, it's a bunch of brown down there. It's a bunch of dead clippings that is prohibiting the lawn from doing its best, right? From behaving the optimal peak that it could handle. So, if I just put my hand down here, I'm able to pull up a whole bunch of bad grass, dead grass that's just laying on top of the soil. It's broken down as much as it's going to break down. But when I remove that, here's soil exposed, ready for new seed, ready to receive water, and all the great things that will happen if you give it the opportunity to have excess and be exposed to the surface. So this grass was laying on top of that, so it wasn't, it's still getting through, right? I'm still getting water through there, but seed and soil contact isn't happening with this here. So I'm not able to grow new grass in this area. And that's the idea, is that you want thick, healthy grass. And if you have thick, healthy grass, it chokes out the opportunity for weeds to grow. You're limiting the opportunity for fungus and weeds and other things that make your yard look, less than perfect. So what we want to do is we want to overseed as much as possible, but we have to prep the yard first. And once we get the yard prepped, then we get the seed down, then we water, fertilize, we get some really, really good results. All right, so I'm going to crank this dethatcher up, show you guys how it works, show you guys some quick results. Then I'm going to do the whole thing and then give you kind of an overview of what the process entails, toward the end. All right. All right, guys, so here we go. Got this set up. I'm gonna crank it up, and then you can see this kind of work, and then see what the results look like after it power rakes a small section. Good, how you doing? All right, guys, so I just did those 2 lines. You saw me in my bum clothes. I just did those 2 lines, and you can see, before I got started, the yard looks like this for the most part. But once I turn on the dethatcher, it power rakes all this stuff up from the base of your lawn. So that's all the gunk that was, left over, that, from all of my months of mulching, not bagging. This is the result of that for the most part. And I got my reasons for wanting to mulch rather than bag. But, at the end of the season, when you're getting ready to overseed. You know, we're at the end of the summer now. I don't recommend you doing this during the summer, way too hot. But also the idea after you do this is you kind of want to overseed so that you can get some new growth going into the winter months. You don't really get good results when you try to overseed during the summer. It's just too hot. You need way more water to get the results you need, and even then, you know, the seeds just don't react as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the rest of the lawn. I'm doing all the way around. So I'm gonna do the whole yard. I'm gonna get a lot of results like this. Essentially, the whole yard is gonna look like this when I'm done. But you know, I'm gonna want to rake this up. And then, like I mentioned, I've got some stuff to do afterwards. But this video, I just wanted to show you guys what dethatching looks like, and then how the Greenworks dethatcher, you know, performs when I'm trying to get this job done. Again, I like this. I like the idea of it. I like, you know, the results of it. Not a big fan of the cord. I've been burned one too many times using cords. They you know, they get in my way. I've cut them. See this video with my my hedger, but yeah, not a huge fan of them, but I would definitely stick with Greenworks. It just seems to get the job done for me and all my yard stuff. So let's knock this out and I'll show you guys what a full lawn looks like. All right guys, just got done wrapping up the front yard. Want to give you guys a view of it. Like I mentioned, it was a lot of stuff in there. So first thing I want to say though is having an extension cord is the worst thing when you're trying to do anything outside. I mean, I'm just totally against extension cords. They get in the way. It makes the job so much longer. I probably spent an extra 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, just moving the damn cord around, like, you know, getting it out of the way so I'm not stepping on it, so it's not unplugging, getting caught on something else, a bush or shrub. It just, you know, it's just in the way. So I advise, do not get any tools that require you to use an extension cord when, you know, everything in the market now, you can get a battery version of it. Cordless is the way to go. It's just so much more convenient. They cost a little bit more, but I think the convenience of it is what you're paying for. So my personal advice, take it or leave it. So what I want to say is, take a look at this yard. All right, so take a look at what we got here. This is all the leftover clippings that I have been mulching in my lawn. And it's a lot. I mean, you can see how much stuff is in your grass that you don't see with the naked eye. And why it's important to do this step. You can't plan to have, you know, a decent lawn. You know, you can have a good lawn, but you can't have the lawn that you really want. If you're looking at this channel, it's probably because maybe I did something that you liked and you want to get some kind of a similar result. For me, I take this particular step for my lawn. You know, it might not be something you want to do, but you know, maybe I'm shining a light on, you know, things you might not have thought of or things you are thinking about, and you want to see somebody on YouTube show you, you know, what it means or give you a little bit more context. So here's some context for you. All of this was laying underneath my grass. So, you know, there's going to be some actual good grass that you end up taking up in this process. I want to mention that, you know, this process isn't going to take up all of the dead stuff. It's also going to take up some of your good grass, but it's not a lot compared to all of the dead stuff that you're picking up along the way. But, you know, as I mentioned, once you get it up, I mean, imagine all of this is blocking seed and blocking water and all the, you know, the fertilizer. If you're using Scott's, anything, weed and feed, you know, fertilizer, any kind of over-the-counter products for your lawn, you're not going to get the best results when you've got gunk like that just sitting up in there. So once you remove all of this stuff, you get way better results. You probably were getting results before, but it's not going to be optimal results. So the idea is that you lift all the stuff from up under your lawn, and then you try to get all of that good stuff that you've been spending your hard-earned money on to get some really good lawn results. So here you go. Here's my front yard. I was gonna give a view of the backyard also once I got back there, but this was the front. I mean, it's a lot of stuff in there. So you want to get this stuff out of your lawn, even if you're bagging, right? Even if you're bagging your lawn, when you cut the grass, you're still going to have some of this stuff in there. You need to do this process no matter what. So one thing I wanted to mention was my neighbor. They don't really do a good job with their lawn. I mean, that's all weed. I mean, you can just tell, really. Look at this. So you could pretty much see the line between my lawn and their lawn. This is them. This is them all over here. This is me all over here. And there's a line right there. And you could pretty much see my lawn versus their lawn. So all weed. This is all weed. All of that. And mine is, it's not perfect, but it's not that. So but yeah, you can tell I do a little bit more for my lawn than they do. But what I wanted to point out, I mean, look at that mulch bed. It's kind of crazy. But what I wanted to point out is they've got one of these kind of older lawnmowers. This thing will cut your grass, but it's not going to do it very well. But the idea is that a Dethatcher operates almost the same way. If you look at the way this thing is built, my Dethatcher looks pretty similar to this. You see that? It's kind of long, but my Dethatcher is built the same way, but it's intended for a different purpose. So that's intended to cut your grass, however efficient you think it might be. This is intended to dig grass up or to rake your lawn. So if I didn't have this big box here, which houses a motor and houses, some other stuff, but it would just be this part, right? It would just be this part. And the goal of this is to dig all of the stuff out of your lawn. And you can see it's still got clippings in these tines here. So the good thing about this tool is when I got it, it came with another bag with a replacement set of these things here. So I think it had enough to replace what was already here. So then you can go and buy more if you need to, but I haven't had any problems with the set that I've already got on here. So should any of these break off, I think that's more so if you have like rocky lawn, maybe you're in a newer development and you don't have good soil. There's a lot of rock in the soil of new developments, and so if you're just hitting a bunch of rocks and hard surfaces with this, you're going to break these off. So that replacement pack was pretty much to kind of help those folks out. But yeah, so that's it for the most part for that. There's not much else I wanted to show you guys, but I mean, this is important stuff for me. Let me know what you guys think. I think I rambled a little bit. First video back in a couple of months, so bear with me. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good step? Do you think this is something that you would do for your lawn as a part of your process? I think everybody has an idea of what they like to do for their lawn, what works for their lawn, but you don't really develop that kind of mentality until you actually try to take care of your grass for a full season, right? When your grass is growing the fastest, when it needs more water, kind of the lumps and the dips in your grass and your lawn, because you've been cutting it for so much, so many times, or twice a week sometimes when it's in the spring. You don't develop that kind of knowledge unless you started really trying to take care of your grass and get some pretty good results. And you probably started putting things down. You're buying some weed and feed or some overseed. Maybe you got it aerated before, right? You don't know what you know until you start going down the process of thinking about taking care of your grass. So for me, this is something that I've added into my process. What do you guys put in yours? You know, what are you thinking? What do you do? And is there a particular season that you do? If you do this step, is there a season that you prefer to do it in? For me, we're at the end of the summer. We're midway through September. I think we're at the end of September. I think it's the 20th, something like that. So, you know, it was been a little bit colder here the past few weeks. It's like 50 something here right now. So I think it's going to warm back up into the high 70s by the end of this coming week. But jobs like this, I'd rather do when it's cooler outside rather than hot. So, you know, I got this job done. I'm gonna rake this stuff up, bag it, oversee, water, right? And then I'm hoping to get some pretty good results over the next month. And so I definitely want to redo this video, maybe a part 2, to kind of show you guys, you know, what it looks like after I put a bunch of stuff down, and then some results maybe in a part 3. So that's it. All right, leave a comment, like, subscribe, join the family, survive in the suburbs. Catch you guys next time.